Israel launching attacks against two Iran-backed groups, Hezbollah in Lebanon, those pictures you're seeing there, the Houthi rebels in Yemen.
Hassan Nasrallah, in my view, after Ayatollah Khamenei, the leader of Iran, was the most important member of this axis of resistance.
We're at the site of an Israeli airstrike that took place at 1 a.m. on Monday. This apartment on the 5th floor was hit.
Following a brutal weekend of Israeli Defense Forces bombing Lebanon's capital of Beirut, along with southern Lebanon repeatedly, Israel has confirmed that they're also planning a ground invasion into Lebanon. And it has now also been confirmed that the leader of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, has been killed by the Israelis in their bombing campaign in Lebanon. Now, Israel's planned campaign, meaning the ground invasion, would be smaller than its last war against Hezbollah in 2006 and would focus on clearing out militant infrastructure along the border to remove the threat to Israeli border communities, according to the United States, or at least a US official who spoke on the condition of anonymity with the Washington Post. An Israeli official who also spoke to the Washington Post on condition of anonymity says that Israel has plans for a limited operation that will be imminent. They are in line with the Americans. The understanding is that they are not going to do another Gaza. Now, what does President Joe Biden have to say about this, especially considering the fact that he had declared to the international community that Israel was going to agree to a ceasefire with Hezbollah? Well, let's take a look.
Can an all-out war in the Middle East be avoided? It has to be. We really have to avoid it. We've already taken precautions relative to our embassies and personnel who want to leave, but we're not there yet, but we're working like hell with the French and many others.
The fact that Israel may be now launching a limited operation into Lebanon, are you aware of that? Are you comfortable with their plans?
I'm more aware than you might know, and I'm comfortable with them stopping. We should have a ceasefire now.
Well, you could potentially get a ceasefire if you pressure Israel by holding the weapons that you've been funneling to them leverage. But of course, Biden refuses to do that. Just a few more details about this ground invasion. There were concerns that this would be much bigger than what Israel is alleging they're going to do with limited ground invasions. But they say now, no, it'll be limited, and they're specifically focused on destroying Hezbollah. They claim that Hezbollah is in the tunnels, so they're gonna go after Hezbollah's infrastructure, meaning the tunnels, also rocket launchers, weapons, and other infrastructure. And then they claim that they plan to pull their forces back. And just to get a little more specific, Miri Eisen, who's a former IDF senior intelligence officer, named a specific group of Hezbollah fighters that Israel is targeting. The Radwan force, no matter how many times we attack, you cannot destroy that from the air. To be able to get to that subterranean arena, which is 2 to 3 kilometers from Israel's border, you have to go in. So the ground troops, the IDF, are planning on going into the tunnels and attacking Hezbollah in that way. So I have more details on this, but before I get to it, Cenk, thoughts?
Yeah, so first of all, interesting choice of words there, axis of resistance. So, what I would ask Israeli supporters is, are people not allowed to resist your occupation? So at what point, like what amount of surrender and groveling would appease the Israelis? So, because the occupation has been going on for 57 years. Now, this is really important. If you watch American media, you probably have no idea what the reality is. So, the Israelis say, and the Americans puppet, oh yes, we are attacking because they're anti-Semites who are going to destroy all of Israel and kill all the Jews. And if we don't do it, it's imminent. They're about to kill all the Jews. Okay, nonsense, total, utter nonsense. Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT. You power our honest reporting. You do it at tyt.com/team, and we love you for it. So the reason why Hezbollah is attacking is because, and with their totally ineffectual fire the rockets, is because of the occupation. And that why did Hamas attack? Because of the occupation. Now you could hate the attack, you say the attack is wrong, and I believe in non-violence, so I don't want violence from either side. But you could rationally acknowledge that Obviously, they're doing it because Israel continues occupation of West Bank and Gaza Strip. But if you're claiming that's not the reason, it's because these deranged, savage Muslims just hate Jews so much. So at the last second, we saved our lives by killing them all and attacking and invading and bombing, etc. It's absurd. It's totally absurd. So now, how does the pattern normally work? Israel attacks, and then they occupy. And then after they occupy, they go, well, these violent Muslim savages continue to resist us. And they're gonna kill all the Jews. They're gonna kill everyone in Israel. Israel's not going to exist. Israel's like a nuclear power. Where are they going, right? You guys have all the might, all the weapons, all the money, right? Sent to you by blank checks from America. You're not going anywhere, right? And nor would we want you to go anywhere. But then you don't allow them to exist, the Palestinians to exist, you occupy, and then the minute anybody fights back, they're like, I knew it, violent Muslim savages, ignoring that you're the one who grabbed the land in the first place, right? And then, by the way, when you press them on, they go, so what, they lost the war, cry harder, we won the war, we're going to take land, just like Russia, and just like all imperial empires. Oh, no, we're not colonialists. Don't call us colonialists. Okay, so then, at that point, if anybody ever resists their occupation, and so I'm worried this is going to repeat in southern Lebanon. They've now tried to take southern Lebanon several different times. So I'm sorry, defend themselves for security reasons by taking way more Arab land. And then once anyone resists, they attack again and take more land and go, we can't give that back either. We just can't give anything back because we're not the violent ones, even though we're the ones doing the invasion, we're the ones that kill so many more innocent civilians. They're the violent ones. That's why we can never give their land back. So that's what I'm worried is going to happen in Lebanon. I hope that's not the case. The Israelis say it's a limited ground invasion, but they're giant liars, and they've lied every time, including agreeing to a ceasefire on Wednesday that Anna's going to tell you about, and then withdrawing it because it turns out they were lying and just stalling so they could just kill more people in Lebanon.
Exactly. I mean, hours after Joe Biden had declared publicly that both Lebanon and Israel was going to agree to a ceasefire, Netanyahu changed his mind and they proceeded with this bombing campaign in Lebanon. But let's just briefly talk about the safety and security of Israel and the alleged threat that its Arab neighbors pose to Israel. Because as we have said on this show, and as Hezbollah has said repeatedly, they are attacking Israel over the fact that Israel is just leveling Gaza. Okay, Hezbollah started attacking Israel recently, right, during this war because of what's being carried out in Gaza, and they said that they would stop as soon as Israel stops bombing Gaza. But Israel doesn't want to stop bombing Gaza. In fact, the bombings have continued in Gaza even today. Central Gaza was hit pretty badly today. And so instead of pursuing a ceasefire, which is what the United States claims it keeps pressuring Israel to do, Israel keeps denying or rejecting ceasefires. And in fact, I thought that this statement from the foreign minister of Jordan was really interesting because, again, Israel keeps saying, well, we're surrounded by our enemies. And remember, Jordan recently helped to protect Israel from Iran's missiles and drone strikes. And so keep that in mind as you hear what the foreign minister of Jordan has to say in response to Israel's justifications for broadening this war and bombing other countries. Let's watch.
The Israeli prime minister came here today and said that Israel is surrounded by those who want to destroy it, an enemy. We're here, members of a Muslim Arab committee mandated by 57 Arab and Muslim countries. And I can tell you here, very unequivocally, all of us are willing to, right now, guarantee the security of Israel in the context of Israel ending the occupation and allowing for the emergence of a Palestinian state, independent state, along the efforts that we all agree. He is creating that danger because he simply does not want the two-state solution. And if he does not want the two-state solution, can you ask the Israeli officials, what is their end game? Other than just wars and wars and wars. I'm telling you, all of us in the Arab world here, we want a peace in which Israel lives in peace and security, accepted, normalized with all Arab countries in the context of ending the occupation, withdrawing from Arab territory, allowing for the emergence of an independent, sovereign Palestinian state on June 4, 1967, lies with occupied Jerusalem as capital. That is our narrative. That is, and we will guarantee Israel's security in that context. Can you ask Israelis what's their narrative other than I'm going to continue to go to war, I'm going going to kill this and kill that and destroy this and that. The amount of damage that Israeli government has done, 30 years of efforts to convince people that peace is possible, this Israeli government killed it.
So I just want to reiterate, that was Ayman Safadi, and he's not just talking the talk. Obviously, Jordan also walks the walk as, again, it intercepted strikes by Iran against Israel during this current war. And so all he's saying is, look, we want peace. We want the 1967 borders that guarantees Palestinians their own state, something that Netanyahu has been very clear in wanting to fight against. And so he has served as an obstacle against that. And so look, their unwillingness to allow for self-determination and for a state for the Palestinian people has led to the wars and the conflicts that have been going on for many, many decades. And so there are two options: either expand this war, which is what Netanyahu seems hell-bent on doing, or end the war by pursuing diplomatic means and allowing the Palestinians to have their own state.
Yeah, so as we'll show you later in the show, Netanyahu is now threatening to expand it all the way to Iran. It's okay, half the American fleet is there, so we'll be fighting that war for them. But that clip we just showed you is so important because it puts a lie to what you've heard in American media thousands of times. That, the Arabs won't make peace. The Arabs won't all want to, they're all such rabid anti-Semites. They want to kill every Jew. No. It's Israel that is preventing the Palestinians from having a state. That is all of the Arab nations. You just saw it with your own eyes, saying we will guarantee Israel's peace and security. So that's the safe haven for Jews that Israel was created for and theoretically yearning for. And Israel says, no, I don't want it. I want war. Well, why don't you just take the deal? Every one of them says they're going to give you exactly what you want. Because they don't want that. Why don't they want that? I mean, you would think that they would, and a lot of Israeli citizens do, right? It's because they're taking more and more land. And if you're like deeply offended by that, yeah, you should be offended by the Israelis. So it's inarguable if factually they've taken more of the West Bank as they've scuttled one peace deal after another, after they've continued to encroach and build settlements and put 700,000 lunatics in the West Bank, the most fundamentalist, theocratic, dangerous people in the whole world who don't value other lives as human beings. They view Muslims as dirt and they kill them on a regular basis. They've stolen a giant piece of the West Bank. They're never going to give that back. They're obviously not going to give the land that they got in 1948. That's gone, okay? And now they're saying, let's reoccupy Gaza. Let's do a central corridor. Let's do a southern corridor. Let's take more land. Let's go into southern Lebanon, take more land. And then they'll put in lunatic settlers and then go, what? I can't believe they're attacking us. We're so innocent. All we did is take all of this land over and over and over again. And I can't believe these Muslims are resisting. They're obviously the savages.
And obviously what this does, the path that the Israeli government has chosen to take guarantees war in perpetuity. Because think about it. Look, on one hand, they're celebrating the fact that they have decapitated the leadership of Hezbollah. But at the same time, they have killed thousands of people already in Lebanon through their bombing campaign in order to do so.
Which will create a lot more Hezbollah.
That's exactly right. And so what does Israel really want? Do they want war in perpetuity, or do they want to pursue diplomatic means, allow for Palestinians to have their own state so they can live in peace, so everyone can live in peace?
And so let me be clear, because we're the only show that's honest here that covers it in a real way that isn't taking sides. So for example, in this latest bombing where they got Hassan Nasrallah was under the residential buildings. So that's a rare time where Israel was like, hey, I think they were under, like when they bombed the hell out of Gaza for almost all of the time, they couldn't show one dead Hamas leader, right? They kept killing tens of thousands of innocent civilians, and they couldn't name a single Hamas leader that they'd taken out. In the last couple of months, you see when they actually do kill Hamas and Hezbollah leaders, Hamas and Hezbollah come out and go, yeah, they killed our leaders. They killed this guy, that guy. It's not like there's any debate about it, right? So the first bunch of the campaign for many months in Gaza was just slaughtering civilians and getting no Hamas leadership. But in this case, to be fair to the Israelis, Nasrallah was hiding under a residential building, and that's where they got him.
Okay. Yeah, they just leveled 6 apartment buildings in order.
They did. They did, but at least they were telling the truth that Nasrallah was under those buildings.
Okay, fair, but again, like, I just feel like it's counterproductive because while, yes, you kill Nasrallah, you also kill hundreds of innocent people, and their family members are gonna want revenge.
Oh, of course, you're creating a whole new set of Nasrallahs. I'm just saying what's factual, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So now, on the other hand, they say, oh, the dirty Muslim savages, you can never do peace with them because they want to kill all of us, and they'll never change their minds because it's innate to Islam that they want to kill all the Jews. This is the racist tropes that I've heard for my entire life in America, as if it's not racist, right? So, but in reality, Israel already did a giant peace deal with Egypt. And did the dirty, violent Muslim savages continue to attack Israel, as every right-winger in Israel said? No. They never attacked Israel ever again.
Yeah.
The peace deal worked spectacularly. So if Israel wants a successful model for peace, they have one in their own country with Israel and Egypt, one of the most successful peace plans ever. And so they know, and now all the Arab nations are saying, yes, yes, peace. And you get peace and security forever. And Israel says, no, I don't want it. I want more land. So let's be honest about what's happening here. And Joe Biden, let's be honest about him. Oh man, Israel's doing something wrong by going into Lebanon. I want a ceasefire. Brother, look, I mean, your best case scenario is you're deeply incompetent. You don't know that you could use your leverage, that you have $26 billion in leverage? You don't know that? Now the reality is, of course Joe Biden knows that. He's choosing not to use his leverage because he's corrupt. And then he comes out and does these propaganda things for himself, like, oh, I am such a good and sweet guy. Golly gee, I don't know how to stop all the death and destruction and war. Oh golly gee, me and my party taking millions and millions and millions of dollars from AIPAC has nothing to do with it. Oh, I was trying so hard, but I couldn't. It's absurd. This is the reality. So God knows what's gonna happen here, but at some point, guys, here's what you have to understand. Hezbollah or Iran is going to be able to do a successful counterattack. And when they do, everyone in American media and every American politician will come out here and tell you, we have to. Israel has a right to defend itself. You see them starting the war with your own eyes. Ground invasion of Lebanon, and America will pretend that Israel is defending itself later after it starts this massive war, and Biden just put in a whole bunch of easy targets for Iran to hit. So if you hit one of them, and they put out a statement today saying, if any American is touched, any American property is touched, we're gonna obliterate them. Okay, of course, because Israel asked you to do a giant war in the Middle East, and that's what Biden and America will deliver for them. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.